So we are live on LinkedIn, and I've got Joe Lang from Confidence Systems. How are you going? How are you doing, Joe?
I'm good.
Um, right out of our booth at Field Service USA, Palm Springs. Weather is amazing.
Absolutely.
Where are you flying from, Joe?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay, and how's the weather in Philadelphia?
Fairly nice.
Okay.
We had no measurable snow this year, so it wasn't a bad year.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And so I just finished a session with Joe where they were talking about it was XOI
Yes.
with Aaron, and the title of the session was "Out of the Tool Bag and Into the App," and how we can build a modern workforce of elite technicians through technology.
Yes.
And the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about technicians and technology and adopting technology is how do you get technicians to actually trust the technology that we're pushing on them, right? So you can drive that efficiency. But before we get into that, Joe, I would love for you to give us a quick introduction about your work at Comfort Systems and what you do, and then we'll get straight into our takeaways from the session.
Okay, good. So thank you for having me on the show. Very
Absolutely.
nice to be here.
You're our first guest.
All right.
So that's an honor.
So I'm VP of Service Technology and Innovation, and that's a mouthful for really what is they kind of consider me the crazy idea department. Come up with
Okay.
new ideas.
It's like my wife tells me a lot these days.
So it's really though trying to find innovative ways to grow our business, attract talent, and keep the talent that we got. So that's a lot of the things that I focus on, and we've done some unique things with building support for our technicians, and have used some of the technologies that I've learned and met here at the Field Service USA. I've been coming for 10 years, and we've culminated into a point where, and look, this is a first step in a long journey, but we made some significant progress in building our service technician workforce and giving them tools that they can't get with other service organizations in our space.
Absolutely. And one of the key things that you had a lot of insight around, Joe, is when it comes to data, how do you get the data from the field?
So there's a lot of different ways, but one of the things is you got to find a partner that can work with your data. And for us, that's been XOI and Aquant. And with both of those, they've been able to take the data that we filter out of our work order system and help us make usable information out of that. And what that really helps with is the fact that all of that data came from the technicians. And so by using the technicians' information and data to turn around and help the technician be better makes a real impact with the technicians.
Absolutely, because as getting technicians to trust data and the tool and adopt it is really critical. Because as we know, technicians, they're in nature skeptical.
Yes.
And they really only give something like one shot.
That's
and
it.
It either works or it doesn't.
Yes.
If it works, they may use it again if it was seamless experience. But if it gives them a trouble, they'll never touch it again. So how do you get them to cross that chasm and adopt and build that trust and make sure that onboarding into new tools and like Aquant,
Yes.
like XOI, like how did you ensure that adoption or increase the success rate of that?
Yeah, so when we built out our platform of supporting our technicians, we actually did it by bringing technicians from the field into it, and they helped us build this. And so it was an experience for them to, first of all, hear somebody in executive leadership saying, we want your input so we do this right. So we had lots of discussions about what would work, what wouldn't, what would be good things to share, what would be not good things to share. Now,
so you actually involved the technician in the development
yeah,
of
we
the
had
technology.
we had a group of technicians that came in and built the basis for what became what we call our fixed support center, and so those technicians took that word out and said, hey, somebody's listening and they're going to do something good for us. And So with our fixed support center, call centers and technician support, we did a lot of benchmarking, adoption of around 26, maybe 27%. We've got 44% adoption.
Wow.
And so, and that comes from the fact that not only that, but the people that are helping them in the support center are also former technicians. And
Mm.
I used to be a technician as well. That's what I started in this industry like 40 years ago. So we really took it from a technician ground point up. And what that really did is, first of all, help them trust it because it wasn't just another thing management was going to push down on them. They really do get what they want out of the support. They have a great experience when we help them. And we use data to help make it faster so they can do their job faster and look better in front of their customer. Because ultimately, a technician wants to perform for the customer. They don't care what management thinks, they love their customer.
Absolutely, and that was one of the things that I took away from you. You said engaging the technician by making them look like a hero for fixing the issue on the first visit is key to adopting technology. Because at the end of the day, how can we make the technicians look good in the eyes of the customer? Because that's all they care about is their customer. So if we make them look like heroes because we've enabled them with all of this technology, that becomes a competitive advantage, what you said, in retaining technicians. Because guess what? This technician is not going to be freed up as much to focus on the customer and the equipment somewhere else. So this becomes a competitive advantage for us to attract talent because, the word will get out in the market that, hey, we make technicians' life easy. We power up our technician. We don't burden them to update 5600 tools. We actually
Right.
free them up to say hi to the customer, go and fix the issue successfully on the first time, and buy customer.
That's right.
And then come the next day when they come in and open up that store door, they see a smile on their customer face because they've just arrived to the site. It's not another, oh my god, right? This guy, I don't trust that they're going to get the job done. So how critical is that?
So that's the whole thing is technicians, a couple of things. First of all, yes, they want to fix things. They want to look like a hero for the customer. The other thing they don't want to know or have happen is somebody else had to go fix something after they quote unquote fixed it. And so again, when we take the experience of all the technicians, you aggregate all that information and make it into usable knowledge that it can help the technician be successful at the point of contact, which is our customer, then they win. And when they win, they build a great employee experience, which produces a great customer experience as well.
Yes, and it's a very it's interesting. It's very customer centric approach to developing innovation because innovation typically starts with ideas.
Yes.
It doesn't start with the end user in mind. So I love that you said you start your innovation by talking to the end user, which is the technician, and then you arrive to the idea. So it's a need-based innovation or approach to innovation.
Well, and that's how most innovation happens. People innovate everything because they're just trying to solve an issue they are having at either that moment or they consistently have time over time and time again. And so it's really when you can take that innovation and say it worked for technician A, and then hey, we scale this to make it work for all 2,500 of our technicians. Now you got something. So that's innovation. Always happens really at the point of contact because of an experience. And so we wanted to take and make sure that we took our technicians' experiences, built solutions on what they were experiencing, not what we thought or not what some report said, their actual experience. So like the best thing you can ever do is get in the truck with your technician and go spend a day in their shoes. You'll think completely differently, and then you'll understand when they come up with an idea, it's because they're doing it from their experience, and their experience drives behavior. So if you like the behaviors, then capitalize on it. If you don't like the behaviors, then give them a means of helping you give them a solution that'll get the behaviors that are going to be most important to the organization.
That's fantastic. And one thing also struck me that you mentioned is you talked about crowdsourcing data and knowledge from technicians and putting it in a library.
Yes.
Like a wiki almost. It's like it immediately came to me. Oh my god! Like what Joe is doing, really, he created and I would love to dig in a little bit more. Like it's like a wiki site where all the technicians contribute their knowledge, and now you've got a centralized tribal knowledge in a crowdsourced or user generated by the technician, also consumed by technician, and then they add their bit to it, and now you have like something magnificent. So can you tell us a little bit more about your how you gather knowledge and store it and organize
And
it?
we're getting close to bringing this out. We've got the concepts with it because we're building this support app with one of our partners. But the feedback will, the technician will be able to give us feedback that solution worked or it didn't. But we will also gather information both through our data analysis and from feedback from the technicians, where technicians will go and have the opportunity to go say, I had a similar problem, but I fixed it like this and it was faster. Because technicians like to brag. Let's put it,
Right.
just put it out there,
Yeah.
okay? It's not that they be the smartest, but when they see something that'll help, there's a lot of them that really want to embrace that and help others be better. So if you give them a platform to do that, uh, they hear, they get heard, and you can utilize that to improve your overall process. It's a win-win. So we're pretty excited about this. We're very close to probably 2 weeks away from doing that, and I'm really looking forward to the results that I'm going to get.
I love it. And I want to close with another interesting comment you made is leveraging AI to inform your decision making. So if and there's a lot of talk about AI and Chat GPT and right,
Yes.
we all understand that AI is revolutionizing, will revolutionize how service companies deliver their service to customers. But today, in practice, what questions is AI helping you answer when it comes to the performance of the service organization?
So what AI is really helping us do right now is first and foremost better understanding where we are as a service organization. Okay.
In what way? How do you measure that?
Well, so like most companies don't know what their first time fix is.
Right.
Okay. We now know what our first time fix is, but I can also go to what's the lowest first time fix and the highest first time fix. And I make correlations with AI between which companies are growing in regards to that first time fix. Same thing with like time to resolution and mean time between events. And all of that is, again, data driven from the standpoint that now we can measure that. So once you start getting that information, you can start looking at not just how to impact it financially, but you can also take a look at that and say, maybe we need to make different training decisions. Maybe we need to make different support decisions. Maybe we need to make different personnel decisions, because one of the things that, from going way back, I was a technician 40 years ago. The best technicians could fix anything, but they weren't always the nicest people. And so we're also starting to formulate where it's like, let's hire good people and we'll give them the knowledge to go be successful by using all of this data. So I don't have to hire a 30-year experienced technician. Okay, I can hire a 30-year really super nice person that's got technical experience and still make them a very effective technician. So there's a real different approach here that the customer experience happens with the technician experience together. And so we've got to make sure that we give them the tools and the knowledge to go be successful. We're kind of past the days of where you send out the super tech to fix stuff. There's not enough of them. And frankly, there's too many pieces of equipment and too much innovation and advancement for everybody to keep up on everything.
Interesting. So, and are you enabling your customers in the same way you're enabling your technicians to fix things remotely as a service company? Like
We-
self-serve. This concept
we
of customer
haven't
service.
yet, but the capability is there again because we built this knowledge database and we have a way to distribute it. So right now we distribute it to technicians. Could we distribute it to customers as a service? Yes, we probably could. No plans to do that, but it's there.
Well, these are some really fascinating concepts, Joe, and I'm really grateful for you hopping here. I know it's quite busy here around the expo.
Yep.
We're seeing all the sponsors, and everyone is roaming around. So here you have it, folks. We had Joe Lang from Comfort Systems. Really, the insights that it's about how you are today practically implementing AI, remote assisted machine learning to impact technician productivity is really fascinating. I'd love to dig into more details on maybe follow-up sessions together virtually into these topics. But for now, I want to thank you so much, Joe,
Thank you, guys.
for joining us today.
Pleasure being on today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to attending some of the other sessions you're holding and following up on a lot of the questions. So, folks, please feel free to chime in the comments. Give Joe a big shout out. And if you have any questions for Joe, also leave them in the comment, and then I'll tag him on LinkedIn and see where we can take this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
I'll be back to you in another broadcast in probably another 10-15 minutes. Stay tuned. Brilliant.